Oh, hello everyone. It's Susie, Crypto Granny here. The date's the 27th of August, 2024, and the time in Europe is 25 3 p.m. I've started doing daily podcasts because there is just so much going on in the world. And honestly, I don't want to miss one day because seriously, it's just incredible the information that's coming out on a daily basis. It's just unbelievable. Now, anyway, I hope you're all really well. I hope you're looking after yourself, uh, you know, um, treating yourself and your family and everything else with respect, and looking after your beautiful partners and husbands and wives and beautiful kids and babies, and of course, beautiful animals in the world, just to make this place a better place. Now, I thought this was quite interesting. World crypto wealth statistics. I found this from Henley and Partners. And what it's got here is, I thought this was really interesting, actually. Millionaires in the whole crypto, the people who invest in crypto, right? It was up to 172,300. If you go to this report, you can actually see a breakdown of where people come from and that sort of thing. And the growth for a year was 95%, which is massive. The growth for centimillionaires, which means more than one, clearly, or over 1 million, was up 79%, and the billionaires were up 27%. And total crypto users in the world, and I look at this a lot, is now 560 million. The last time I looked at total crypto investors and users, it was about 500 million. And about a year ago, it was 300 mil. So that's up 32%. And the total market value now is up 89% with a total market cap of 2.3 trillion. So I thought this was really very interesting indeed. And I'm sure people, hand on heart here, heart, wherever that is, my left, I think, we're going to be in those stats in the next year or two. I just know it, and I'm very, very, very bullish this cryptocurrency market in so many ways, but specific cryptocurrencies. Okay, now admin again. Look at the operational risk. Always be careful with your crypto. Don't tell people because people get murdered for crypto. Store your crypto, most of your crypto on a hard wallet. Again, you should know this stuff. Do not send anything, crypto or money, out of your accounts. Always do a minimum. Okay. When you do that, you're going to send crypto to someone, send the minimum. If it's XRP or something, 25 only of XRP. So if you make a blunder, you're not going to lose all your crypto. Okay. Another thing, don't click on links from emails. Okay. Also, with crypto, again, I'll say that you should have a separate phone, for your crypto or your authorization keys, which I have. You should also always check HTTP. That's a scam internet code. It's got to be HTTPS. You should clear your browsers. Be really careful with all this stuff. Change your passwords on your computer, on your internet, everything, right? So go back to our operational risk videos that we put in starting on the platform, and you'll see all that stuff. So just rehash yourself nice, because look, crypto, the higher it goes, the more risk you are, and you don't want to be telling people, house invasions and all sorts of things. Okay, so I'll say that. Now, another one, investment portfolio number 7. Anyone that's, we might be sitting in a sprinkle of XRP, but I'll have to check that because I'm going to sell it. I'm very bearish XRP, Ethereum, and Cardano. Now, if you're sitting in any of those, please contact me because you need to get out of them. I'm very bearish on those 3 coins particularly, okay? For many different reasons. XRP's missed the punchline 3 years ago. Now the stable coins, everyone can pay cross-currency crypto like that, blah, blah, blah. Cardano never got any clients. Their meme tokens fail all the time. The transaction per second is only 19 transactions per second. It's too slow compared to a Cardano, compared to a Solano that can do, golly, about 150,000 transactions per second, and Tron the rest, right? And Ethereum, we know this through Ethereum, it's too expensive, it's failing, the growth's not there, and all the big whales are selling Ethereum. So again, I'll repeat this, guys and girls, and I'll say it again. If you're in those 3 coins, please sell them, and we'll get into something much better that's going to give you a 1,000% return or something. All right, so what's the next slide here? I never know what I put up here half the time, because most of the time I do this, I'm half asleep in the morning, my morning, which is probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because I'm a night owl. Now, also one of my clients sent me this just in the supermarket in the US for a piece of small steak, 1, 2, 3, and it was $25.37, right? And this is just a normal supermarket in America. And that's insane. I mean, that's about 22 euro on conversion. And, in Spain, you can buy the biggest piece of steak in the country areas, like for 5 euro, a big piece that big, literally. And it lasts you for about 4 days or more, because I don't eat steak a lot. I don't like it much. But, it just shows you the cost of living in the US. I mean, it's insane. And when you look at the inflation figures, which are garbology, they're not at 3% or 2.9%, more like at 300%, people. Seriously, again, the stats that are coming out from the economists in most of the G7 countries, including the US, they're just garbology. I don't believe in any of them. If you look at the freight index, which moves, shipping around the world and goods and services or whatever, that thing this year is already up 63%. That's inflationary. And that's what feeds into goods, right? Goods and services. If it costs you a fortune to ship something around the world because the pirates everywhere and you've got to take the long route and because there's wars and everything else, that's pretty much what's happening. And that shipping price is going up by 63%. And last year it was up 250%. Where do you think inflation is, right? I mean, seriously, inflation is through the roof. And the figures we see are garbology. Unemployment's rising everywhere. Low unemployment, the figures are garbology. That's all I can say. Okay, so what's next we got on this video? I hope you like my videos. I'm getting better at this stuff. Okay, so the hot searches worldwide, again, Fetch is on there. Tron's been on it lately. Pepe's been on it. All the good ones that we're in. And that's great because this is a global research from Google, right? And I like to look at these stats because they're all different stats that play into my thesis. Now, yes, we have seen weakness in Bitcoin today. I'm not worried about it. If Bitcoin gets down to 59,000 or 58, I don't think it's going to go any lower than that. I'm a buyer, okay? Simple as that. I'm a buyer of Bitcoin. Like we said the other day, the traders are selling at 64,000, right? But this is stupid. I don't want to sell any Bitcoin. I just wait for the dips to buy the thing, right? Because it's going to go so high. It is a joke, okay? And there's some great stories I've got here to talk to you about. Some people have got forecasts on Bitcoin per unit of $1 million. And I believe that in the future. I really do. Because, there's no supply. The technology's genius. And the network's making 3.5 million every day. And it's totally, totally decentralized. And it's literally, I'm not saying it's not impossible to hack Bitcoin, but it literally is impossible. Because as I said to you last time in my podcast, it costs you something like, I mean, it's ludicrous figures. Something like 35 billion or trillion, I think it was, to actually take over the 51% hash rate of Bitcoin. And it would cost you a fortune to do that. So I don't think, the probability of Bitcoin getting hacked is probably out of 100%, 3%, something like that. It's totally decentralized. You'd have to take over all the networks of Bitcoin everywhere in the world. And I think it's pretty near impossible. I mean, it's much easier to take over a centralized bank, with centralized technology, to be perfectly honest. And we've seen that. Swift got hacked and, lost $600 million and everything. So let's just look at the market report first, and then I'm going to go to live coin watch and we'll cover that as well, okay? So grab yourself a cup of coffee or a beer or wherever you are in the world, and, we'll talk about just what's happening in markets generally, and then we'll go to live coin watch, and then we'll see the latest stories out today, okay? Thanks very much. So what we're looking at is the equity market's been quite new this week. They're waiting for some data, which I mentioned the financial markets data coming out, the economic data. as well as Nvidia. So it's going to be very, very interesting. There was a story about China looking very, very weak indeed. They're not importing as much to the US. The economy is in a shambles at the moment. The Central Bank of China has had to put a lot of money into the financial markets because, the equity market looks very bad, plus the property market is a shocker over there. Also, we've seen oil side, which is interesting. I was trading oil today and got it to about $79, and now it's down about 75.64. Apparently, Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley have lowered their forecast for global oil with an increase in supply and an increase in the rigs. That's very interesting. They're calling it less than $80 a barrel. Decision by OPEC to reverse voluntary supply cuts may mean that the cartel is aiming at reducing the price of oil, okay? So that's very interesting. The global economy looks very bad, according to the International Monetary Fund. Growth this year has been revised down to about 1.8%. And that's certainly with China, that's doing very badly. Even the UK is doing badly. And US GDP is coming out, gross domestic product, this week, and I think it's going to be a lot weaker. I don't believe in the figures, to be perfectly honest with you, okay? We're also starting to see the Chinese sell US assets. They're going much more into gold and certainly into cryptocurrency. We've seen gold, gold's up about already this year, golly, about 40%. And gold, looks like it's going to go through very quickly, $2,700 an ounce. Now, I've got a big view on gold. I think gold goes through the roof. I think you can even get to, and I'll say it again, $8,000 an ounce, okay, which is 31 grams, right? We're starting to see real estate, normal real estate, domestic real estate come off everywhere. Certainly in Australia, in the UK, Canada is starting to come off, and certainly in America. New home sales are starting to come down, and housing finance is certainly starting to come down as well. So there is a lot going on. Plus, we have wars everywhere in probably about 41 different countries in the world. And certainly the Middle Eastern war is very, very concerning. Again, I believe interest rates need to be cut, but I'm very surprised that Deutsche Bank came out today and said they're going to start selling US 10-year bonds, right? Which are around 3.85% at the moment. Maybe, the thing is, I do believe the yield curve will steepen, which means the short end of the yield curve, like a 1 year or a 6-month rate, will perform compared to a 10-year bond because of inflation. 10-year bond shouldn't be at 3.85%. If you add on GDP, say 2%, and inflation at 20, then the Taylor rule says that the 10-year bond rate should be at 22%, where inflation is, or more, right? Now, we have seen that US home mortgages have come down below 7%, but 7% is a big figure for US 30-year mortgage rates, right? If you go back to this chart, when I love charts, back in 2009, even back in, March 2021, a 30-year mortgage rate was below 3%. And what we've seen is the rate go higher and higher and higher. And it's currently down at 684. Now, it could get down to this level here, maybe 6.3% if the figures are as terrible. But what will happen is people will start pricing in, in the short end, more easings. Now, the 30-year mortgage rate is off the 10-year bond rate, right? So if the 10-year bond rate starts underperforming because Deutsche Bank's out there selling and everyone else, and yields go up, then this rate is actually going to go up again. And that, anything above 7% is a killer to the US mortgage market, plus, housing. People just can't afford it. 7% in the olden days was the big figure where people really, really struggle, but over 8% is just insane, right? So, there's a risk this is a big uptrend. This thing, just with this chart very quickly, I don't think it's going to go much lower than about 6.6 on this, and then you're going to see it propel right up in connection with the 10-year bond yield at 3.85%, which I do believe is too expensive and should be sold, okay? At 3.85% 10-year yield for a US Treasury bond given the state of the nation of the US, plus its debt levels, which are in 38 trillion as we speak. I mean, you know, plus inflation. I mean, it's insane that a 10-year bond yield should be below 4%. It really is insane. So, you know, I do keep a very close eye on yield curves, interest rate curves. Why they're important is because they value every other asset out there. Okay, everything, interest rates are used for valuing every asset in the world, including crypto and including the equity markets. Okay, and many other things like housing, for example. So that's a very interesting chart, that one. What else do I have here? Do I put anything else up there? Bear with me for a minute. Doesn't look like it. Am I playing this or not? Sorry about this. Still trying to learn how to do this. So yeah, so look, you know, I believe that the yield curve will steepen quite quickly, which means the 10-year yield is going to go higher in yield and lower in price. Okay, so very, very interesting. I mean, you know, as this says, it's come down a lot, but there is a big risk that that yield curve is going to steepen, and it's going to make the affordability of housing even worse. And certainly it's going to bring down the property market, I do believe, in America as well as everywhere else. Okay. Now, experts are talking about Bitcoin getting to $1 million, right? And apparently this was a podcast by Peter McCormick, Jack Mailer's the CEO of Strike, and they basically said Bitcoin could reach 250,000 to 1 million in the current economic cycle. Now, an economic cycle is normally about 4 to 5 years. And I agree. I think Bitcoin could go anywhere. There is no supply, people. There's one Apple in the world out of 8 billion people, and 560 million users invest in crypto, right? And more. You know, so again, you know, there's no supply of Bitcoin, one Apple in the world, and the world is very, very extremely hungry. It's as simple as that, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see if this comes out, but I do believe Bitcoin will go to an all-time high. I think by the end of the year, with everything that's going on, Bitcoin could easily be at 125,000 to 150. And that's why I said if Bitcoin goes below 60,000, we're going to be buying some more tomorrow, people, or in the next day or two, okay? So get ready for a buy instruction to buy Bitcoin generally in that range of 58,000 to 60,000, under 60,000, okay? I do believe this could happen, and, you know, we've got to be ready for it, right? Already the exchanges are basically making different prices and on their exchanges because they're losing Bitcoin hand over fist, okay? And if they run out of supply, the exchanges of Bitcoin, they have to start pricing Bitcoin up, and people will alternatively also go into BCH because the cheaper option and has the same issue as Bitcoin, no supply, right? And it's an upgrade of Bitcoin. So to me, it's an absolute no-brainer. So let's go to live coin watch before we look at the rest of this and see what the market's doing, and then I'll play the rest of this video, okay? Won't be a sec. Let me just change this and make sure that you can see the new share, right? Oh, here we go. I'm doing this wrong. Okay, bear with me for a minute. Okay, so hope you can see this. Okay, so we're on live coin watch, everyone. Whoops, get rid of that. Let's just update this at the moment. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a glass of water. That's better. Now, what we've got here, market cap 2.196 trillion, not even anywhere near the market high, the last high, which was 6 months. We got out of everything and made good money. It was over 3 trillion, and that's where they sold it, right? 24-hour volume is nearly, it's 72.68 bill, and liquidity is very good at 6.2 bill, which means liquidity is going up, which means more money is coming into this market, okay? Simple as that. Oh. So what we've got today, just get rid of that. What we've got today is Bitcoin at 62,181. I believe any dip is going to be well supported. I'm certainly buying some more below 60,000 if it gets there, okay, for a next run up. Now, at the moment, it's down 2.38%, but obviously, if you look at the hourly, It's actually, people are starting to buy and put more money into the market. Now, Bitcoin dominance is going up, 55.9095. That will go up as it outperforms other coins, okay? And it's still going up. And we could see that dominance fairly high. XRP dominance is 1.52. Ethereum dominance looks terrible. It's going below 14% lower. I don't like Ethereum, as you know. Tron dominance looks very good. So does Lynx, Solana, very good. And BCH not doing anything, but that's fine because people take time to work out their strategies. And we're always in early because we're absolute professionals. And I've been looking at markets for 20, oh God, it's almost embarrassing. Double your age, probably everyone, 42 years, which is sort of embarrassing. But anyway, so Bitcoin's down 2.42%. Ethereum, there's a lot of selling around Ethereum. It's breaking down. It looks terrible to me. It's at 2589.92, down 4.11%. Binance down 1.2% at 551. Solana down 2% at 155. Tether, slightly down. I always keep an eye on Tether too, because that tells me a lot. XRP up 2% today at 0.596907, but I'm not excited by it. Any rally in XRP, I'm a seller. As I said, if you're holding XRP, get out of it. I'm a seller into the rally. Toncoin, I'm amazed that thing is still there when the CEO found has been arrested for, God, drug charges, illicit activity. My God, I mean, I'm amazed that thing's the biggest sellout. Wonder where you can buy some puts on Toncoin. Tron looks fantastic to me. It's going to break out very soon. Dodge looks like it's going to break out as well. Tron's at 16.2 cents. Dodge at 10.4 cents. ADA is the biggest sell I've ever seen. A lot of negativity on ADA. AVAX, great story. Any dip in that thing, I'm looking at that as well. Also, Link, so cheap, it's a joke. 11.50, I'm targeting to buy some more. Dot, very cheap at 4.56, but I'm reluctant to buy any more Dot at the moment. There's better coins out there. BCH is a buy, clearly a buy. I'm a seller of Litecoin. I don't think that's going to do anything either, by the way. So if you've got Litecoin, contact me as well, because I think there's better opportunities in Litecoin. You only have so much money, people, and we want to make a return at least 1,000 times within the next 11 months, okay? Pepe, any dip in Pepe, I'm a buyer, but I'd like to see it down maybe 15%. Fetch, any dip in Fetch, which is now ASI, it's massively undervalued for the opportunity that it's got and the clients it's got, and they reduce their supply with the 3 mergers of the different coins, right? So that thing's a buy, baby. That is a buy. And, you know, so that's that. Let's go back to the video and, you know, grab yourself another drink if you need it, and I'll come back to you in a sec. Now, everyone, I look at all markets because all markets are related by cash and by speculation and by relative value. And, you know, also supply issues, you know, obviously shipping issues, all sorts of things, right? So I look at pretty much everything. Now, orange juice futures hit an all-time high numbers amidst agriculture commodity rally. And we're seeing a lot of agriculture and a lot of commodities starting to rally big time, okay? And all the high net worths and the rich people are going into commodities as well, because about 2 years ago, everyone was selling commodities. But the point is, when you go to Spain or Italy, there's oranges everywhere. But this is very interesting because people are obviously eating more oranges than the supply. Now, I went to the shop today again, do some shopping, and honestly, the shelves are empty. There is a huge supply issue happening at the moment with Chicago or whatever, or growing fruit, or, you know, obviously making product. And then it costs you a fortune to ship it. And this is why the supermarket shelves are empty. It's crazy. And I know it's happening in Australia as well. So yeah, very interesting what we're seeing at the moment. Now, what will happen because of that is literally prices are going to go through the roof. I'm sorry to say that. We have massive inflation in the system. It's hyperinflation. It's not just normal inflation. And that sort of inflation is like what we saw in Nazi Germany, or pre-Nazi Germany, 1929 to 1933, when the stock market collapsed, but also Germany was going through super high inflation, and the Deutschmark was worth nothing. They were basically using it to keep themselves warm, right? Now, coming back to this orange juice story, the price of frozen concentrated orange juice futures contracts has reached an all-time high this month, hitting $514.65 per pound and setting the stage for retail prices to skyrocket. And this is how it happens, people. One thing skyrockets, and if orange juice is used for other things, it affects everything else, right? You know, it talks about there's some show called Trading Places, but apparently Brazil, who's one of the biggest orange juice producers in the world, had the worst harvest ever, and it was probably because of a lack of water. And we're seeing a lack of water everywhere in the world as well, and that's affecting commodity prices. Not only that, coffee and chocolate are at all-time highs because they need a lot of water, right? And if you've got no water, then you've got a lack of supply, and there's a huge consumer demand for chocolate and coffee as the poor get to more middle class and want to buy the luxuries of the world. And it's just a no-brainer. We see massive inflation in the system. And like I said before, the economic figures are garbology, okay? Garbology. And, you know, this is a beautiful thesis for cryptocurrency, okay? Because cryptocurrency most of the time has limited supply. And also it's a huge growing market, where I said before, there's only 560 million people invested in crypto markets, according to that wealth story I told you about at the start of the video with the billionaires and God knows what else, okay? So, you know, this is not a great story. It's happening in one commodity, but it's happening in many, many, many other commodities. Apparently there's some citrus disease that is affecting Brazil and Florida, and it's decimating their productivity. Just like the bees in the world, you know, the wasps are eating all the bees, and honey production is down massively. And honey in the Middle East is liquid gold, right? Liquid gold. You know, a liter of honey is worth more than gold itself, right? A liter of honey. Costs you a fortune to get honey in the Middle East. And a liter of honey could cost you 5,000 US dollars compared to an ounce of gold of 2,700 or 600, right? So yeah, a lot going on. So yeah, 38%. Wow, that's really bad. It's been decimated. That's terrible. Plus, you know, Brazil is cutting down all their forests and everything. And also, look, it affects all sorts of things, other juices, other people. The supply of orange juice would affect a lot of different people, right? But we also see, you know, as I said, coffee and chocolate are at all-time highs as well. Even cheap coffee is at all-time highs, right? There's two types of coffees as well. And one's Arabica and the other one, I forget what it's called, but you know, one's really cheap. Now let's go to Mr. Trump. Again, very, very pro, you know, cryptocurrencies. We know he's been issuing NFTs, and you know, he is going to be the president that is the cryptocurrency president. There is no doubt about it. He's been going to lots of different events, re-crypto and everything else. Also talking to Elon Musk. He wants to put him in the government. And I think that's, you know, all very, very interesting, you know. And he's been in the market for a long time, and you know, he's got a lot of meme tokens out there as well. I showed you one yesterday at the end of the podcast, another meme token. And I think if he gets in, I think he's going to be absolutely hugely bullish for cryptocurrency. Okay, and it looks like he will, according to the polls, right? Now, also, as I said, he bought out another NFT. There was Mr. Trump's sneakers, cocktails, and a dinner at Trump National Golf Club in Jupiter, Florida, with Mr. Trump. Wow. I think he'd be, whether you like the guy or not, he would be fascinating to talk to. Seriously, 24,750 on the cards will also get access to Mr. I think that's pretty cheap. I'd love to talk to Mr. Trump. Seriously, whether you like his politics or not. He's a very interesting fellow. I've got to tell you that. I think he's fascinating. So Mr. Trump said he released the fourth NFT collection. He said the people want me to do it. And I imagine it should go pretty good, actually, because most of the other ones have gone very well. What's this one about? It's a May Gala celebrating collections, 13 NFT. So, Mr. Trump's been in crypto for a long time, and he's well ahead of any other politician, I have to tell you that. So, yeah, I look, my money is on Mr. Trump, actually. I think he's going to win. I've got a bet that he will win. I had a bet in the last, not the last one where he got in. I had a bet then, and people told me I was crazy. But my attitude was the guy is really well known on American TV on that You're Fired thing. I never watched it. And every time he went out to the little towns in America that no politician would go to, like, everyone showed up, like say if the town's got 15,000 people, like literally the whole lot showed up. So just on that, I believe, he was going to win then. And I think he'll win now just on numbers. Seriously, if you look at his Twitter accounts, he's got 90 million subscribers. You're not going to subscribe to Trump if you don't like him, I guess. But not only that, there's over 50 million crypto investors in America, and most of them supporting Mr. Trump. Plus, there's a swinging voter, which means, they don't know which way to vote. But the fact that Mr. Trump's so pro-crypto, he's got a lot of support from everyone, plus Elon Musk, and now Mr. Kennedy as well, who was a Democrat and a Democratic family. To me, if you look at the numbers, he will get in, and he'll be great for financial markets, risk markets, and cryptocurrency, because he'll open up the money supply, get America working again, get people to pay for defense in other parts of the world, which I think they should. If America's going to save people in the world and use all the defense, then they should ask for money for it. I mean, that just doesn't make sense, them doing it for nothing. So I think he'll be good for the economy, because I think at the moment America looks terrible fundamentally in terms of the economic data. Now, Moscow to test crypto for international payments. This does not surprise me, because they don't want to use SWIFT, which is new US settlement system. And, if they do that, essentially their accounts get blocked because of, politics and wars and trade embargoes and all sorts of things. So they want to actually convert everything to cryptocurrency. And I think that's great for those guys, but it shows you what Russia and China are doing, okay? They want to do this by September the 1st, and, they want to convert everything, physical ruble to crypto using the national payment card system. And I think that's really interesting, because they're looking at interbank settlement and clearing on their own platform outside of SWIFT, okay, which is a wholesale money market bond settlement system that the US pretty much control, and the banks, okay? SWIFT is owned by 11,000 of the biggest global banks in the world, and most of them are a part of the US, essentially. And, a government politician like from China or Russia could essentially, could have his account blocked because of political, spying and all sorts of things, okay? So I think this is a pretty interesting sort of story, to be perfectly honest. And I keep an eye on that, stuff like that too, because it's very, very telling. Now, at the moment, we know that Russia and certainly China are buying crypto, and they are certainly buying gold, okay? There's no doubt about it, as well as other commodities. So this is very exciting for them. Now, what else have I got here? Bear with me. So let's go to the next one here. What's this one? Oh, we saw that. Okay, that was that. We saw that. Right. Saw the Bitcoin one, where people believe it's going to go a lot higher, and I do. Okay, what else we got here? Oh, article. Been some negative articles recently about Cardano, okay? And that's why I don't like Cardano. They've always had a lot of problems. They don't have a lot of active clients. They're not growing. Their meme tokens have been a big failure. Their transactions per second is 18, which is pathetic, compared to, a Tron or even a Solano that can do 50,000 odd transactions or more, right? People are concerned about Cardano. It looks weak to me technically. I don't like the technology. They use Haskell, but it's a very educated, how can I say, high level developer code, and it makes it very hard for people to learn Haskell, apparently. It's what developer people told me to do the coding, right? I think Cardano had its day, and that was 4 years ago. The market has changed dramatically. They're not putting on new clients, and it's not great. Apparently, there was something on Twitter about the foundation or something wanting $200 million or something. This is the impact of 200 million Cardano proposal. Leak request for 200 million ADA, 74 million invoked mixed reaction from the community. It was a leak proposal from early morning, August 26, revealed venture capital organization. Wait a minute, what was that? This thing goes too quickly for me sometimes. Wait a minute, bear with me. Okay, so there was I know about the upgrade, and this impacted the 200,000. The debate on the crypto ex-Cardano community about the leaked request for 200 million ADA, 74.3 million has evoked mixed reactions from the crypto community. Okay, let's go a bit slower on this because I'm not quite clear with this story at the moment. The leak proposal from the early morning of August 26 revealed that the venture capital organization 3UTXO planned to request a specified amount once Voltaire went live. That's interesting. Does that mean they're going to sell? Because they're going to sell, that's a lot to sell. Okay. So let's see. So obviously people are worried about that. Jeromia Tessar, one of the most vocal advocates, ADA advocates, published a detailed explanation of why there's enough ADA in the Treasury. Wow, that's worrying. Why there's not enough ADA in the Treasury to dish out 200 million coins for a single proposal if Cardano becomes decentralized. Wow, that's damning. Let me just have some water. So what that's saying is Cardano's treasury, where Cardano manage the money of the foundation of the network, means that they don't even have 200 million, right, in crypto or cash. Now, any proper functioning network or mainnet that's making a huge amount of money, like Tron, and we're seeing Tron's making millions and millions and millions, right, with their meme tokens and everything else, and people are using the network, where you have to pay fees constantly, and people are upgrading on, putting NFTs on there and all sorts of things. They get paid fees for that. And Tron's making about $6 million a day. So their treasury, Tron's treasury would probably, with a hazard of a guess, be sitting on billions, right? The fact that ADA's treasury has no money is very concerning, which means the network is not making any money. How do they pay the developers and everyone else that's a part of that network? And it's not working. And if they can't afford $200 million, you've got to be questioning the longevity of ADA, to be personally honest, Cardano, okay? And that's why I'm negative Cardano. We haven't bought Cardano for years, right? They've never put on any new clients. I don't see any new clients coming through for Cardano. When we talk about new clients, take Chainlink, for example, it's putting on 2 or 3 new clients a day. These people are not doing anything. And this is very worrying if they only have 200, well, less than 200 million clearly in their treasury. It means they have no money at all, and the network is not making any fees. And we've seen crypto fees, right? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, Bitcoin's making 3 million a day. You multiply that by 365, it's a huge amount of money with no debt. Wow, that's very interesting. So let's go to the next one here. So yeah, I'm very negative Cardano. I'd be buying puts on that thing. Seriously, I'm not holding any Cardano, so I wouldn't be there. But yeah, not good. A lot of reasons to be out of Cardano, that's for sure. Meanwhile, let's have a look at this one. Meanwhile, Cardano founder Charles Hoskin emphasized that they postponed the Cardano chain hard fork upgrade to September the 1st to allow more time for completing the necessary upgrades. Wow, well, that's a joke. I mean, Tezos, for example, can upgrade in live straight away. Like, say Tezos has a version 3 and it wants to go to version 5. They update it within 2 seconds, right? And there's no problem, and it doesn't need a hard fork. So I've got to tell you, Charles Hoskin, I believe your technology is garbology, man, and you're not putting on any clients. So it's too academic. You guys got your head up. Well, not up. I shouldn't say that. You guys got your head in the clouds, and This one is a no-go. You don't buy Cardano, people. As I said, that's very concerning. They have no money left. It doesn't surprise me because they're academics, this proposal went through. Wow, went through, but people then notice it, right? So shorts are increasing. 2 billion for a Cardano. Yep, this is definitely a sell. 2 billion is a lot to sell, right? They're shorting this in a big way, in contrast to Bitcoin longs or Solana longs. Many people are bearish Cardano, and I agree. Technically, it looks terrible to me, just like XRP. Okay, I would not be buying this at all. If they don't have any money and they're not making any money from clients, or people aren't using their platform, and they've got no new clients, and they don't hold anywhere near 200 million in their treasury, which is not a lot. I've got to tell you that in the scheme of things, compared to what other cryptocurrency networks are holding, then yeah, this is a magnificent sell, people. Magnificent. And also, I've seen a lot of negative stuff about Cardano lately. Okay, so not great, not a great story at all. They are expensive. I agree. This is another one about them being the most expensive of all, in terms of their price, but the most expensive in trading as well. And the time it takes to trade or to do something with Cardano, it's like these guys can only do 18 transactions per second, and that is just garbage, right? Absolute garbage. And it's too expensive. So is the point, as far as I'm concerned. This is very negative story for Cardano. They have underperformed, and like I said, if you're in them, get out of them. Like the 3 coins I said, at least Ethereum, XRP, and Cardano. Okay, Mr. Buttron. Now let's get on to Ethereum, because I think Ethereum's got a lot of problems as well. Ethereum's not decentralized enough. They're not putting on enough clients. Their accounts are going lower as we speak, and I'm afraid Mr. Buttron. Vitalik Buterin is just not getting it, okay? He's not getting it. They're too expensive. They're under significant selling pressure. A lot of people are selling them. Certainly all the traders are selling them. Technically, it looks quite bad to me. People are starting to deposit, millions of Ethereum on the exchanges. So this one, in my mind, could really, break down pretty quickly. And if you look at the Bitcoin Ethereum spread, buy Bitcoin, sell Ethereum is a Monty of a spread. It really is a Monty of the spread. I'm really negative Ethereum, okay? Technically, it looks really bad. Really bad. Okay, what else we got here? Ripple. What do we got here? Okay, so the next one, Ripple expands expands partnership with a bank. Okay, let's see who this is. Is it a client? Okay, so let's have a look. The Agricultural Bank of China and the Standard Chartered Bank. Well, those were 2 old stories, okay? We know Bank of America's in there, but I just feel they're really, even though it's a positive story, I feel they've lost the plot. And the problem is with XRP, as you know, every month they issue another billion into the market at the start of the new month. And, honestly, technically, XRP looks very weak to me. And every time they issue more, and that's, from, the vested XRP, that Ripple still hold. I mean, $1 billion every month, it just puts more supply of XRP into the market. And, it's killing the price of XRP. Again, you can't be wedded to something when it's a bad marriage, okay? And, you've got the XRP cult following out there, and they're just wedded to XRP. And I'm sorry, it's going to be an absolute underperformer. Massive underperformer. I mean, it only went up 10% last year. You would have got more in bonds, seriously, than XRP, okay? I mean, it's just a joke, really, a joke. Now, also, there's a lot of information about Pepe Unchained, and Mbappe. And seriously, I'd rather be in these, even though they're obviously Mimi tokens, because of, everyone, the traders and everyone are behind them, right? Than being an XRP or Cardano or Ethereum. I just think you're going to have more return on these things, even though they're very different, these meme tokens, to a coin which has its own mainnet and its own network technology, okay? But, again, people are behind it. We've seen a lot of the bulls and the big whales buy Mbappe Pepe Unchained, not so much, but more Pepe itself, okay, which captures people's imagination, okay. Pepe Unchained is looking more at DeFi, but Pepe itself is a true meme token. And you know, this is really great for Pepe, okay. You know, it's in boost, its token is going up and it will go up. It's very cheap at the moment. Any dip in Pepe, I'm a buyer. And I think, as I said before, it can get to 0.01. It's currently at, what is it, 5 digits? 0.00005, yeah, it's 5 digits, 853, okay? Any dip in Pepe, I'm a buyer, okay? Because, you know, Pepe's captured people's imagination, and Pepe Unchained is on Pepe, okay? And it's just gathering people's imagination. People can get in very, very cheaply, and they can make a lot of money from it by just staying long, okay? Also, Mababi, I think he's a French incredible soccer player. He's great, getting a lot of speculators, a lot of investors, and I think this one's not a bad one to look at. I need to look at Mababi. I haven't looked at it yet. There's so much to look at, but he has a passion for sports and blockchain innovation, and he wants to also help children in poverty, which I think is a great initiative. Okay. Also, it offers DeFi protocols, integration with significant utility to the Barbie ecosystem. Very good indeed. Interesting. I must have a look at that one, I must say. You know, it does interest me, I have to say, because it's, you know, it's got a lot of interest out there by the traders. Okay, plus the pre-sale. You know, basically went so well that it's very, very interesting indeed. So let's have a look at this. Given Mbappé's innovating approach to combining meme culture with the real world financial applications, the potential for significant gains is high. So we need to, I'll have to look at that, guys and girls. Seriously, when was the pre-sale, I wonder? Or has it finished? But look, I will come back to you on that one. Very interesting indeed. I'll have to look at that before I can actually buy it. Okay, because I have to do a lot of analysis to make sure that I'm correct. Otherwise, if you don't do your due diligence, right? So when is this thing? Is it happening soon? Bear with me. Very interesting. I'm definitely interested in that. That's why I put it up here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know when that's on. Okay. So what else we got here? It's about, yeah, this is about Bitcoin going higher. There's a company that bought some more Bitcoin. This was Semler Scientific. They bought another 5 million of Bitcoin today. And also people are saying Bitcoin ETF on the stock exchange is doing increasing all the time. But people are going away from Ethereum, okay? And that's as simple as it is, which is very, very interesting. Oh, and there's a story about Polkadot as well, which hasn't performed very well, but I'm keeping a very, very close eye on Polkadot. Anyway, guys and girls, that's enough for me today. I hope you're all well. Please look after yourself, your family, your beautiful friends, your beautiful partners, your beautiful children, and your beautiful animals and other animals, and just try and make this place a better world. Thank you very much again for listening to me.